So you should be able to see me in there. Red, orange, and yellow guy. Oh, this will really work out. Sorry, Lucas, but I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Yeah, it works every time. Bridal parties, it slays, just so you know. But anyway, we're looking for those cold spots. So those cold spots are going to be blue and black. I want the blue and black to either take shape or to start moving on its own. Okay. That's the beauty of this. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs.
A little like spot.
Well, I'm not. Smudge. Well, not so much. Like glass is going to be colder than everything else, so it's going to turn up blue or black. Right. So again, head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught. That's hopefully what we'll capture again. Fun part about this is I always love to give you guys stats about the equipment I'm about to hand over to you. This guy captures about 4 to 5 pieces per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a TV show host. Okay, so I like to point that out because, again, a lot of times when I get the younger folks, they all watch Sam and Colby, and everything happens every 30 seconds. That's not how this goes. So, cool thing for you guys, there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen. The blue dot is looking for the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. That's why it moves. So I'm looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops out of this. See where there's a lot of math involved with this too? So with this, it is, what did I say it was? 82 degrees out here for us ambient. So I'm going to be looking for 67 degrees and colder coming out of that blue dot. If I find something in my spot check, obviously you're going to get the marker where I found it plus a screenshot of it. So hopefully it moves around and it gets pretty damn cold. That's what we're looking for. But we're also going to verify that it's not a can on the ground, a sign, a window, so forth and so on. That actually happened to us last night where somebody was looking at a car and they had a piece of chrome on the car that was down to like 40 some degrees. I'm like, they just had the air conditioning running and they had the window open. What do you want me to tell you? It's the chrome on the car. What's that?
Actually, turn this thing on.
Started when we walked in the parking lot.
Okay. Already on it. That's why I hired you. Good job. So you're going to keep that thing running the entire time that we are in a space. We don't record in between spaces because nobody liked the Blair Witch Project and we don't want to watch that again.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep it running because if you hit the start button when you think you see something, it's already gone. So just put as much footage on there as you possibly want. Most of the time with a 2.5 hour run that we normally do, we get about an hour and a half worth of footage, if not a little bit more between each camera. So tonight, with us splitting up the cameras, we'll probably get close to about 45 minutes to an hour on each camera, so don't be afraid to add footage to it.
And remind me the temperature I'm watching for again?
67.
Okay.
See, I had to do math in my head, Lucas. You got that? Super quick. He's like, we were talking about math stuff.
Memorizing a number, not math.
No, I had to know the temperature. I didn't do the math before here. I had to do it on the fly. So, still had to do it. Anyway, we got to get him in a little bit better mood. Hopefully he gets some ghost talk. What is it?
Salaralia.
That's Selene.
I have no idea what that word is.
I don't either. I think it looks like 2 words. Sal, Iran.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't know. I'm going to dive into that because I've never seen that on there. So, welcome to a parking lot. Congrats, you made it. I told you, I take you to weird spots. Obviously, we have a lot of vehicles in here tonight because it's a Friday night, so we're going to stay clear of all vehicles once we spread out. Whenever we come to a new space, I'll kind of give you the layout of how it's going to go, because every location we go to is a different type of layout. With this one, I'm going to give you the history, and then we're going to spread out. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with everybody to kind of see what's going on with your devices, take a lot of notes, and regroup us to give you all of the answers and show you how it all ties together. This is where I start withholding information. All the communication people, which is basically everybody but Briella, because you're the only one that doesn't have a communication device. This is where I start withholding that information. I'm not going to be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes or communication device. Here's what this space is. This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. The mansion literally sat up here in the front, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's,
oh, wow.
Why is it like red?
So again, it's meant to try to scare you. So it does growl and do all kinds of other stupid shit that we don't need.
All right.
So again, it's going to throw a few spooky terms in there from every now and again, like the word scare or whatever.
And then all that stuff is just
if it's about to recognize a term and give you a new term, it's going to probably go, obviously you're going to see the green turn into red. Eliza's garden lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across. The servant and slave quarters for the home were in the back of the space. So that's the layout of your land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case nobody was paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. I need to know in the event that Lucas hears the name Charles, I need to know which one it is coming out of another communication device so we know how to address that Charles. Seeing the point? Good. Moving on. The son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us. I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I don't give the gentleman the recognition for signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a very nasty manner through a spirit box. I've seen it dozens of times. So, we're going to talk about Eliza instead. Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers like colonial days when young ladies got married at like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. Kind of creepy then,
like
kind of creepy now.
They'd be like 27, right?
You're way off.
No.
Think of today's standards.
Like
You see
30,
girls
40?
getting married at 15?
30, 40?
Get the answers from your spirit boxes. That's the whole point. I'm not going to give you the answers until we regroup. So, she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all his kids home one last time. Well, Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to earn a green card. We're not a country yet. There's no such thing. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story. There's nothing horrific about this location. If anything, it is a place of respect. So please be respectful when we do separate. So I'll kind of go over that again before we actually do that. But anyway, moving on. She was right, Dad didn't die. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye. It makes your blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. When she got the seeds though, no idea what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always hot here. Then she had to learn how to make the dye. Did that right here. Moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad, told him that the rice plantations were going downhill and they were going to make the killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. That's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit. That's why you guys showed up. Each person with a communication device, I'm going to give you focus questions. These are things that we commonly get the answers to. However, keep in mind, if Lucas is asking a question, you might get the answer. The answer might go to the audio on Melissa's camera or my voice recorder. We never know where it's going to go. Even if it was just them two, I would be carrying that word list in the EMF meter and he would be using that spirit box, just so that way we always had 2 communication pieces. So with yours, you're going to be focused on Eliza's death. She's pretty open about talking about it, and that's where we normally get the answers is to your spirit box about those things. 4 major questions we get the answers to: age at time of death, how did you die, where are you buried, which president was a pallbearer at your funeral. So age, how, where, president. Got them? Yours, you, and actually Lucas are going to have the same set of questions. I think we're going to stick to that stuff.
Okay.
You guys are going to be asking about the mansion. I'm standing where it once stood, so it's obviously not here anymore. Find out what happened to it by what happened to the mansion. If you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that actually occurred. That thing will give you digits and numbers as well.
Okay.
So just so you have that idea. There are other questions. Here's the other piece of this. There's kind of 3 small rules here. A, be respectful. We've kind of already talked about that. Do not ask about her children. I will reveal those answers before we leave the space. And last but not least, no yes, no questions. Find a way to reword it. There's always a way to reword the question. I think I'm going to keep Briella behind with me for just a minute while everybody kind of gets really comfortable with their devices. We're going to get you unmuted so that way you can get to work already. You get to your words through the little white box to the right of the word. So go ahead and tap that little white box. What are the last 4 terms at the top that your newest set?
Complicated, hot, fast, and forceful.
Okay. Now you're getting back to the main screen is on the top right. So both your buttons are on the right hand side. So, she has, was it hot and bath? Like a hot bath. Interesting. I know they came up separately, but I'm kind of like, it kind of comes up.
Don't ask what her kids are.
It is complicated.
It literally said complicated as soon as you said
It's very complicated. So again, don't ask about the kids.
Also, and like a little bit later, could me and her like switch
Absolutely.
at any point?
So I always set it up to where you guys have like an array of devices. Like notice that there's not
Right.
2 spirit boxes or 2 cameras or whatever in each group. So I do that every single night so that way you guys can swap. I encourage it. So just keep it with whoever you came with. That's the whole point. Now with them, obviously he has a spirit box that they both can use. So if he wants to test that thing out, they're still going to be able to use the spirit box. That's why I kind of always on a pair like this, and there's mixed groups. You see the point.
Yeah.
So I am going to keep you behind with me. We got some folks, looks like they're going to their vehicle. The only way that they can get in and out of here through their car is the way we came in, so just be mindful of your surroundings. So Adriana, just don't always have it on super blast where you can't hear the cars coming around you. All right, spread out. You stick with me, young lady. All right, Lucas, get yourself unmuted.
You unmuted?
All right, so yours measures electricity in the air. Have you seen anything else higher than 5.6? By the way, what's the relationship between...
I'm going to ask a question. Oh, sick.
I have no idea.
Yeah, listen for the word.
It's loud.
Questions we just asked? What happened to the mansion?
I don't know what it's saying.
I don't know.
I don't like this.
It's cool. What year did you die?
That's a song.
I know, but that's how people communicate. But
I know, but what was the song?
I don't know.
But I don't know what it is.
Family is protected.
What is this song?
Something protected?
I hate this.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any cold readings yet. Try and stay in front of me so I can keep you in view.
No, I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
You're the one who likes scary things. Still have to ask more questions.
I know, but like, I have no idea what it's saying. Like, what is that?
How are we doing on that thing?
It's saying stuff, but I don't know what it's saying.
Not
It's
easy.
really hard. Only word I thought I made out was protected.
Okay.
Or protection. I
Just
don't know.
remember, you're not going to hear nearly as much as what she's hearing. Like,
Okay.
this is one of the hardest spirit boxes to listen to because it doesn't give you as much. You
Yeah.
don't know when it's going to come up. With hers, it's a constant chatter of just all the different stations all the time.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's giving you the breaks, so it's not always going to find those words. So that's why I said you're only going to hear like 20 to 25 words all night long. But you have the word protected right now.
Yeah.
So
That's what I heard.
hopefully we get that tied into another something that's going on here. Kind of see where it's going with that.
I heard the Dua Lipa song. Say so. Why won't you
But what-
say so?
Is that what the lyric was that you heard?
Yeah. But that's all I heard.
It seems very conversational. Like there's nothing specific in there that I can like Google and get a fact.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, okay.
I always look for nouns and the adjectives and like asking how people feel about things. Like that's not a thing. I know they do it a lot on the TV shows, but you can't prove that somebody was happy or sad about something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the word complicated makes more sense about the children than being happy or sad about it, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
I'm
Maybe
actually-
like protection is something. I don't
yeah.
know.
So we'll kind of see if anything else
Okay.
pops up
I haven't
with
gotten
it.
any cold readings yet, but
With
keep going
yours,
on.
I'm not always asking questions about it in real time because I
Yeah.
do send it to YouTube. I watch it on a pretty decent sized computer screen so I can see everything. You
Okay.
guys are going to watch it on your TV or tablet or computer, whatever he's going to watch it on.
Okay.
So that way we can see things. It's a small screen. Might not always be a real time moment.
Okay.
So again, that's why I say try to move slow. You guys are actually doing really well with both pieces. You've already heard something, so that's a good sign.
Okay.
Some people like literally don't hear anything out of that all night long. Like they just struggle and struggle and struggle and they don't hear anything. But that's ghost hunting is about patience. It's not like they're always going to work on command. That's the
Okay.
fun part.
Sounds good.
All right,
Keep
let me go
walking
see if
around.
Adriana's got something going on with hers. I haven't chatted with her yet.
Okay.
I like staying with the group. No, seriously. I hate all of that.
you have to ask more specific questions. That's when I did it
I
more.
have no idea what it's saying. Like, I can ask the questions, but like,
And we can see if we can make out anything. Why did the mansion get torn down?
we need a little wire is the song I heard.
I don't hear those words.
Yeah, but I heard the song.
You gotta listen to like specific words of the song.
Do you hear what it says?
Can you hold this for a second so I can brush my teeth? Tie my teeth. Don't touch that thing. Got it? Pretty heavy.
Just do it. What is that? It's got a face. It's white. Oh, it just disappeared. Look.
Oh, that thing right there?
What is that?
I don't know.
No, it's not that way. What was that?
I don't know. Oh. Something in the tree? Hold her over there. Let's go that way. Okay, well, you can stay by him.
Melissa, how's it coming? Anything weird?
We thought we saw like a little like shadowy figure coming from over there, so I walked towards it, but then as I walked towards it, it kind of moved away. So I don't know if it was a...
It was white.
Yeah.
White.
So if it's white, that's heat. So that would be the hottest thing in the frame. And that's a thing too. So more science for you. Temperature isn't created, it fluctuates. So if you see something very, very hot, that's not us. That means there's a cold spot nearby.
Okay.
So if you, like, we've actually seen things where, like, let's say for example, you're looking at this very blank space and it's all orange, and all of a sudden you see something going to yellow, then to white. That means there's a cold spot growing nearby.
Okay.
So, and we've literally watched it go 20, 30 degrees colder for the number 3.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I don't know.
That's the whole point. You're not supposed to know yet.
And as I walked over there, it definitely got cooler. It didn't ever get down to 67, but it got into the like mid-low 70s, so it was like the coldest I've seen.
Okay. Just remember, glass is always going to be colder.
Okay.
So, like, it keeps going to the windshield of that van over there.
Yeah.
It's because it's going to be the coldest thing.
Okay. Let's see it again.
I was about to say something. I missed it, though. It sounded like one a shoot, but the shoot was cut off. Got some people walking by. Why don't you slow your camera? So normally if people are walking by, you can just point it directly at the ground.
Okay.
Or normally I tell you to just keep the belly shot, just so we're not making people feel uncomfortable. And I just noticed that you had a Def Leppard shirt on. That's awesome.
Love Def Leppard and Journey, my favorite.
Yeah, we're not showing our ages at all.
At all.
Yeah, and in fish. That's the only 2 words since we left that I've got.
Oh, that's one.
Yeah, I showed her that, and Ella is my daughter's name. That's a nickname.
Still alive?
This one.
Oh.
My fiance did die. I had the desk.
Okay, I don't want to know anything else because when I go to the office, I don't want to be looking into a thing. It's kind of like I'm withholding information from them. So I'm actually excited about a few things on here. Obviously, the fact that it's your nickname, the word leg on
Are
here.
you tired of being? It was like an
Staff.
advertisement. Are you tired of being?
That's still within our normal range that we talked about. I'm sorry, did you say you heard something else?
I heard it. Are you tired of being? Like an advertisement. Everything started.
Just heard 19 out of it.
Yeah.
I
We heard 19. What was it? 19.
I forget. It was a number.
You might want to remember what that number was.
1925.
You said 60 something.
No, it was 60.
Okay.
No, 960.
I heard 930. But I don't think that means that.
That you know of.
Yeah, that I know of.
That could also be a date, September 30th.
Right.
See, this is why you guys keep me around. I'm knowing things outside the box, and you guys are telling me numbers, and I'm like, oh, that could be this guy. Still only. It's odd. So, we'll take another quick lap before we wrap this one up.
Let's go do one more lap.
Yeah, let's do one more lap. You're on the right track, you just don't know how it all ties together yet. That's the fun part.
It's so hard.
Oh. There's a 60 on the truck, but
What was that one? No. Again, if you can't make it out, you probably weren't meant to hear it.
It's fast.
It's actually on the slowest speed right now.
No, that's what
Oh, you think that's what you heard? It's back.
truck is registering cold, but I'm assuming it's
The
just
chrome.
putting still, yeah.
That's exactly what that gentleman did last night.
He's
Was there was
like-
chrome on it, and I'm like,
Still
near the
cold
window.
from the
Yeah.
air conditioner. What happened to your mansion? Ask her again.
Oh my god, that's so clear and I didn't understand it. No? Is that what you heard?
Decent. Let's get you on mute. Talk about why we're entered all of the little tiny answers that we have. Yeah, go ahead and hit stop and relax. So I'm very excited about the 34.
It was on melody because of the music, and then Word and Don't Lie as soon as we pulled in here.
Okay. So I will tell you that we are near the powder magazine. Yeah, see, this is why I withhold information. So we're actually, that's where I would normally take input after this location, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that before we leave the space. Mom's laughing because like, yep, I can see why this guy gets kicked out of places.
Not shocking.
I know, right? The number 22, also relevant. What I'm about to tell you, the gentleman that I'm about to tell you about died at the age of 22, and it was due to a young love. So again,
Go in the tavern.
yeah, I got nothing on that here. We're past Big John's at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so every ghost story comes down here. He's actually kind of in my spot because I never stand next to this loud ass air conditioner. Even if you want to hit the record button and hold it like that, so nobody, oh, look at you. You got a job with me later. Sorry, I'm stealing her, man. She's gonna come work for me. But anyway, so we're all telling the same damn story. Looks like we're leaving, which is perfect. We're going to move down just a little bit. So we're going to just pass through. We're going to go down just a little bit.
I'm not sure I want to know what it sounds like. Speaking of shit.
You're trying not to hear
So this makes more sense. I know it's not much further down, but there's a breeze that comes in off the gate. That's why I always like to stand here. So, not to mention, it's kind of a point of reference. You'll see that before we leave the space too. Same story that we all tell down here. This guy's story's been told for like the past 40 or 50 years, and I'm the only guy that's ever come through where I can actually communicate back. This guy will follow us moving forward from all of our spaces that we go to. The reason being is because we're going to be in near places of raised emotion for him wherever we go from here moving on. So I was going to take this out of my route, but again, I'm out of the picture so that you guys order it. So whenever somebody goes walk by, we'll clear the way just like what we did with another group. And we'll just kind of either put the C's or post it towards it. Either way. Here's how the story goes. Very interested in what we have going on so far, by the way, with Brielle's place. Remember, if you're looking for an aid or love because of the lamppost. The doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash, and the attorney that she has thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor. I just had to make sure. I thought your camera was on the wrong side, so I just took a double take. So anyway, Dr. Ladd moves down here to prove he's not after Amanda's money. He's going to make his own. On his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world, if you really think about it. Anyway, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer because he knew the coachman. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop slowly on his name because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. You guys remember where he came from?
Okay.
Rhode Island, exactly. So RI was showing up all the time on a regular spirit box, so I bought another device. It acts like a digital Ouija board by using EMF. We've had RI show up through that thing whenever I bring up Ralph's name about 7 times in the past year. I'd love to give you stats. Anyway, moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Just come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on that offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he is. What's that?
It's not doing 11.
Oh, so you had an 11? Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah, you gotta jump in with us.
I said, you don't have to move around. It might just jump if the spirit goes.
So I was just standing there talking to him after it was at 0.
Yeah, that's why I was saying. It's not like it's going to stay the same the whole time.
Yeah, ghosts don't stand still. And if it does stay still, it's more than likely coming from a man-made object. So that 11 that kind of skirted up real quick and went away, remember, his lamppost is going to go up to 8.
Yeah.
So 11 is your new baseline. Don't give me anything below that 11. So where was I? Oh, it's all right. They became friends, and Doc took them up on that offer. So, in a nutshell, Dr. Ladd was doing pretty well for himself, and he's making his own money. And he's proving his point to Amanda. He doesn't need hers, so she gets wind of this so she can move down. They're going to get married. And Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the story. It's a giant cliche. No matter what haunted city you're ever going to visit, we all have a haunted, like a cliched whistling ghost. So again, that's why I hate the story.
Whistling doctor, that's great.
So why are we in this alley specifically? This place used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So with that said, here's why we're here. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. You got better seats. So on the way home, they're talking about the new play that they just saw and the actress that was new to town. Doc thought the new actress was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly between the two of them, and they went their separate ways. So when they left each other, Ralph goes to his friend with the newspaper and places
27 and 23.
Places an ad in the newspaper saying the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw this ad in the paper, but he rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Somebody's going to die. So they came down here. Keep in mind that this argument, by the way, started over an actress. I just like to point that out one last time. Kind of dumb stuff back in the 1700s. Two gents come down, back to back, took their 10 paces. They turned. Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot his one bullet. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted the courage to show up. Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. Fell to the ground. Ralph proved his point. He's pissed off, not willing to forgive. Doc's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. 2 two things about that last statement. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out. That's kind of what they did back then.
I just got a 10.6.
10.6, and then you had an 11. Okay, we'll take them.
Well, no, it was a 1.1. 1.1, yeah.
1.1.
Yeah, 1.1. Just 1.
It wasn't an 11 like what
No.
she said?
No.
Okay, so the 10.6 is now our highest.
Yeah.
Okay, that one will take. So with that, every ghost tour that comes down here, just like the ones that just left, always tell their guests, listen for the whistles. Keep in mind, it's not always a common find, and we are more likely to get it off of a video camera or my voice recorder of a disembodied whistle than we are to hear it with our own ears. So if you're going to try this on your own and walk through this alley without me, because I can't take you all the way through, been kicked out, we already kind of just talked about that. Use your voice recorders on your phones, but remember that every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here. So here's how I got kicked out. Here's the fun part of the story. Not to give a bunch of teenagers and preteens a bunch of ideas, but you guys see the point. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there before Jewelers Alley, so early 1700s. Why am I telling you this? This used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept all the livestock. Cows, goats, and chickens. Which means they started down there and worked their way this way slowly. Those bricks are older than the ones you're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down in one of those bricks and some fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through to the end to show them that handprint for a history lesson. Nothing paranormal about that brick. That's the last place that you're going to find that kid's ghost. He does not want to be staring at that brick in the afterlife. It's the same thing as the cemetery. You're not going to stare at your headstone. November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there for their history lesson just to kind of point it out. I've already told them about it, and they all stopped. All 10 of them wrapped around the brick, waiting for something to happen with the equipment that I gave them based off of the brick's history. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and we're standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds. I was new at this. Kind of didn't know we weren't allowed down there. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter, who was probably about your guys' age at the time, was on the tour that night and thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at. She was all about it, laughing hysterically. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because I worked in upper management for Walmart. You all fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. So the next day, I called my partner. It was the 28th of November. Told him what happened, and he basically laughed at me just like my daughter did. He said, "Dude, you're not allowed to go down that far. Only halfway. Otherwise, it's residential. Reroute your group." What I told my group was, I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story, but I'm a kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that when we get over there. But anyway, and we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know much about pirates, but somebody, before we left, heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. Just kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get something. Took them around the corner. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. Don't know what it means. Write it down, do the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial.
Oh, that's great.
So I normally get that that's crazy or wow, that's pretty cool. I was actually pissed off.
Wait, no, you just said it, but it said Anna, I swear.
You're pretty good at like always picking up the word like right after I've said it.
Yeah, I know, but it really did just say it. It said Anna Connie, because it was probably like part of something. I don't know.
Interesting. I actually have a master's degree in creative writing. We've kind of already talked about that. Whenever I'm researching anything, especially something paranormal, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. Whenever you guys would find something from that location, I'd have to read a ton of books to be able to verify one little piece of evidence. Over the years, I came up with this great story, and now that particular space where I would take you to investigate is being monitored to see if tours are even allowed to cut through there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of spaces. Luckily for us, there are like plenty of ghost stories in this vicinity and that tour area, and I thought it would be kind of cool to be able to swap cameras once we get over there, and we're going to be dealing with an apparition.
Bad obligations.
So she's already been spouting off whatever she's heard. I got to write down your 10.6. Did you get anything else above that? So 10.6, we're good on that. I know that you were muted, so here's what's going to happen. When we go up and around the corner, there's going to be like a little ledge. You guys will be able to have a seat while I get the next camera ready for Melissa to be using. And then we're going to go up and we're going to hopefully try to capture that apparition while we're up there. And everybody's going to be listening to those spirit boxes. And you guys can ask your own questions based off of whatever you want to ask. I don't have a set controlled space like what we do with Eliza. You can see why I try to control that space based off of the... why is my wife texting me at this hour? Well, one of my dogs is sick, so...
I was just going to say because she's your wife.
Well,
She's
she's
laughing.
really good about not, unless it's...
There is an intruder.
It said mentally disattached. I didn't say anything.
I have 3 wiener dogs, and my wife is going to school to be a
You
vet.
have three.
So,
That's what she wants to be.
so again, when any of them, like one of them right now, like she gets these weird abscesses all over her feet, and one of them right now is like a balloon. So she's been limping. She's got the donut on like the whole night. So she's literally I've been carrying her around the house all day long, so that way she would kind of walk on it. Yeah, it's one of those days where I had to carry a wiener around to make all the jokes you guys want to. So, anything weird going on with your camera, by the way?
It's cold up right here, like at the top of this hedge. I don't know.
So what you're getting, just so you know,
Okay.
is all the airspace going into the sky.
Oh, okay.
In
It's
between
too
the
high.
trees.
Okay. Just hoping it was low enough to be something.
There you go. Yep. That's why you guys keep me around.
Yep.
I'm going to write down Anna, and then you had 23 and 27. I don't know what those numbers are, but I'm still going to write them down because it gives me something to research. Again, that's where I get excited.
It was a full sentence. It said 23 and 27.
So it was a full sentence of
Yeah.
23 and 27. So very interesting case. What are our words that we have, by the way? Give me the last 4 or 5.
Mentally, shade, central, limit, handle.
Roll out on nothing based off of where we're going. Interesting. I'm still very excited about your 10.6. This is me excited by the way.